Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, the podcast aimed to inspire you to find your voice and become the best, truest, and most authentic version of yourself. Spiritually intimate, soul-to-soul conversations, life-changing insights, and spiritual teaching and healing. Real, raw, unfiltered. Join your host, Tisha Michelle.
Welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul with me, your host, Tisha Michelle. All right, so in this present moment, I would have to say that I am grateful for opportunities. And I'm grateful for opportunities that, I guess the best way to say it is, the opportunities that show me if I've grown or not, right? It's opportunities / experiences. You know, when like a certain opportunity will present itself to me, and then if I decline the opportunity or I say yes to the opportunity, either way, it's teaching me something. Because maybe it's something that I turned down, but I really turned down because I was just fearful of, like, I don't know, I'm not ready for it, blah, 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 or it's something that I said yes to, at the end of the day, and at the end of that opportunity presenting itself, I check in with myself and I say, wow, like I actually took the leap, or I said yes, where a year ago or 2 years ago, like I wouldn't have done it, or it wouldn't have even presented itself to me had I had not gone through X, Y, and Z. So I love the opportunities because, again, whether I say yes to the opportunity or I say no, either way, it is teaching me something about my growth. And I don't know about you guys, but I got to start keeping, tabs of my level of growth, just to remind myself that I am changing, I am evolving. Yeah. All right. Well, what about you guys? Your turn. Unless you're driving, I want you to go ahead and just close your eyes so we can just get centered a little bit. And I want you to take a nice deep breath. And you're just going to take a deep breath, but just breathing in through your nose and letting it out through your mouth. Let's take another nice deep breath, breathing in through your nose and letting it out through your mouth. And one more, another nice deep breath, breathing in through your nose and just letting it out in your mouth. How do you feel? Check in with yourself. Let's just say, in this present moment, how do I feel? And after you identify that feeling, then express your gratitude. What is it that you are grateful for in this present moment? All right. So on episode 15, yes, 15, back in the days, I did an episode on 2 ways to reprogram the brain and the power behind the words that we use. And then in episode 80, I talked about limiting beliefs and how to rid yourself of them. All of that has to do with our subconscious mind, which is the deepest and most powerful part of ourselves. So if you are new around here, welcome. Definitely go back and check out episode 15 and episode 80 as well after listening to this one. And what I wanted to do today was I wanted to talk a little bit more about our subconscious mind and just explain a little bit more about that deepest and most powerful part of ourselves, right? And this was really kind of stemming from just everything. I tell you, like, I'll be, not the word trigger is not the word, but inspired to talk to you guys about a topic or something that I start to see that keeps coming up, and it's like a theme. So I always check in with them myself and see, okay, is this a message for me? And most of the time it is, and then it'll also be a message for you guys. So I wanted to put it into like a broader sense. So, all right. So our subconscious mind, and again, say it's the deepest and its most powerful part of ourselves, which operates about 95% of what it is that we do. Okay. So your subconscious mind It's working behind the scenes, right? It's just like I'm gonna fall back here, and it's absorbing or rejecting information, but it's information that's based on an existing perception that you have based off, like the world around you, and that perception began from when you was a little kid, and it didn't reject anything when you were younger because you didn't have any pre-existing beliefs to like contradict it. There was nothing that was there. So it accepted it. And then all the information that you received was true. There was nothing to, when you were 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, there was nothing else to say that, hey, that's not true. So it just had to just be true. Right? So it's kind of like where someone tells you, your mom says there's a tooth fairy, or dad, there's a tooth fairy. If you lose your tooth, there's this tooth fairy that comes in the middle of the night and takes your tooth and he replaces it with money. Or there's the Santa Claus. There's this jolly big guy that wears a red suit with his hat, and you got to leave cookies out for him, and he's gonna eat the cookies and he's gonna leave the gifts for you, and you gotta be good, and if you're good you get to go on the good list, or if you're bad you go on the naughty list, right? Then there's the Easter bunny, right? And then we get this candy and we do this, like, so there, at that age these things were told to you, they were taught to you, and then backed up with an experience, like, oh, let's go do an Easter egg hunt, or you woke up and your tooth was gone and you got a little bit of money, right? So our subconscious mind it just believed all of that because there was nothing else to say that was not true. Right? So that's a way where we look at it like, oh, okay, that's cool. No harm, no foul. However, every time someone calls you something outside of your government name, whether that was you're dumb, you're stupid, you're lazy, you're not smart, you're an idiot, or maybe they talk about your potential, you're not going to amount to anything, or you're only going to be good for this, you're only going to be good for that. Your subconscious mind also stored that information, and there was nothing else to say that's not true. So you just believe it. So it's just there, it's just rocking. What's up? Right? And then by the time you were around 8, your foundation, your core beliefs was already laid. That shit was already laid from everything around TV, your family, your friends, the school, whatever. All of that stuff was just like, okay, it's a wrap. That's what my foundation is, and I'm going to build off of this. And I know, you're probably thinking, I'm a whole ass goddamn adult. So whatever happened to me as a child, that don't matter anymore. I wish that was the case. Trust me, I wish that was the case. So remember, all that information is stored below your conscious awareness, right? And we only become aware of it when something blocks our progress in life, or like, basically, if it's something that we're trying to do or we're seeking to do, and then we feel like we aren't successful at it or we can't do it, and it's like, what the hell is going on, right? Well, now here comes the air quotes, guys, limiting beliefs. Those things start to surface, and now we're starting to be like, wait a minute, what's going on? This doesn't even make any sense, right? And then you have a hard time explaining and wrapping your head around it. And when I say limiting beliefs, for those you may use a language of, I feel stuck. I feel trapped. I feel like I keep doing the same thing. I feel like I keep making the same, decisions, and this shit is not even cool, not even cool at all, right? So, excuse me. So say it's something that you wanted to apply for, and you was all hyped to get it, like, yeah, I'm going to apply for this. It's going to be good. It's going to make, all the sense in the world. And you have all these things, right? Well, why it makes sense to do this. Then you decide not to go and do it, right? You decide not to apply, you decided not to go for it, and you gave yourself all these dope-ass reasons why you shouldn't. Everything made all the sense in the world why you shouldn't. It made just as much sense as a few minutes or days before where you had all the reasons to do it. Yes, you self-sabotage, right? You self-sabotage. And why? Because there's an underlying belief that conflicts with what you are looking to do. So whatever you were seeking to do and you were ready to do, there's an underlying belief that just contradicted it. it was conflicting. It was like, yeah, we're going to do this. It's going to make any sense. But it was like, you don't really deserve that shit. You're not smart. That's not meant for people like you. So there's there, right? So we're always being programmed, always. Even right now, we're being programmed. So it didn't stop when we were 8 years old. Like every experience you have, you end up creating like a conclusion, and then you lock in that message, which then guides your actions. So this programming comes from TV, comes from social media, it comes from the people we're around. It comes from the books that we read, it comes from our family, our children, just that environment. Right? So say you asked for help. And I guess I'll use that as an example because that's one of my biggest lessons that I struggle with. Boy, do I struggle with that, which is asking for help. And say you asked for help and that person said they couldn't do it. Rejected. That's how we feel, right? You feel rejected. And we don't know. Maybe the person gave us a reason why they weren't able to do it, right? It wasn't because they wanted to be a butthole or they just wanted to see you suffer in a sense. They really, truly just couldn't do it. Well, you end up feeling rejected if that's a part, of your deeper, beliefs. So your subconscious mind then searches for other examples of you being, air quotes, rejected, right? So then, because it's scanning through and it's seeing all of that, it makes the conclusion that you have to do things on your own, or it's because you don't deserve to receive the help. Like, who do you think you are to ask for help? You should be able to do that on your own. Nobody shouldn't have to take away from what they need to do to go and help you. Right? So hopefully you can see how some of those things that would have happened before or underlying belief shapes who we are now. Right? So here's the kicker. If you have an experience that conflicts a core belief, your subconscious mind will then reframe it or reject it to go along with whatever your current view is. I always like to say, like, you're either going to validate that belief or you're going to invalidate that belief. So if you have a core belief that you don't deserve to be loved, your subconscious mind is going to be scanning through all this shit to validate that. See, because remember when this happened, and remember when that happened, remember when that happened. So now you have to consciously, right? Now this is where you're using a little 5%. Consciously say, wait a minute. What the hell you mean I don't deserve to be loved? You're bugging. You're tripping. I do. And then you can start doing things to show yourself and to remind yourself that you do deserve whatever it is that you are, seeking or wanting to, receive or put out there, whatever the case may be, right? So we're always going to validate it, but we're going to invalidate it, right? So have you yourself or maybe someone that you know have said something like, oh my God, like he's totally out of my league or she's totally out of my league. And it's like that part where it's like it makes you feel like someone maybe said that, oh, you're never going to be good enough for anybody other than someone that does ... or whatever. And that could have happened from like younger in a sense. So now here it is, some guy or some girl like approaches you and they, I don't know, I guess if we're just going to like just judge and just like a perception of someone, like you meet this person, they're just like to the nines and they're dressed dope and you can see all this like fancy stuff they have and in the way that they speak and stuff. And you're like, oh, nah, like they're why would they want someone like me? So instantly this red flag within yourself goes up and just says, there's something about this. I don't know what they're up to. They're up to no good. Like there's no way that they could possibly want me. There's no way that they could really, truly want to. Maybe I'm a project. Maybe I'm a joke. Or maybe they just feel bad and they just want to like, treat me as a project of a fixer or something of that sort. Well, there's an underlying belief that there could be a mixture of underlying belief that you feel like you're not good enough or you don't deserve something, or you also feel like, you could get rejected. So then you'll shoot that person down before they even get an opportunity to even get to know you. So again, we self-sabotage where it's like, yeah, I don't know. Something's up with this. I'm definitely not in this person's league, and I don't want to get my feelings hurt, or I don't want to be, whatever the case is. So it's like, I'm seeing someone. I'm not interested, whatever the case may be. And you reject them so they don't reject you. So again, we're operating off of this core belief. And whatever that core belief is I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. No one loves me. I'm never going to be really successful. Whatever it may be is stored in there. It's just now it's searching and it's scanning and it's looking to validate that. So I know so many people, and these past few years that have self-sabotaged themselves when it came to being, air quotes, successful, whatever successful meant to them, where they would get so close to something but just couldn't do it. One of my previous podcast episodes, I talked about someone that I knew that's in direct marketing, and she would get all the way down to the end of the month and be short. I really don't remember how much it is, so I don't even want to say a number because y'all be like, on episode such and such, you said this number. I don't remember what the dollar amount was, but she was hella close. And all she had to do was hit that, and it took her to the next level. And she wouldn't hit it. And she would literally be close. Like, when I'm talking about close, I'm talking about like a couple $100 or something like that. Close. And I'm like, wow, she's self-sabotaging now. She's doing that where she doesn't believe she deserves it or it can happen. So it's like you go the whole month bringing in all these sales and doing all this stuff. And right when you get to the end where you can pop to that next level, it don't happen. And this happened for a couple months in a row. It don't happen. I'm like, something off with that. Something is off with that. There's something under there that is some core belief, and her subconscious mind is going to keep her safe from having that rejected feeling of whatever it may be. And it's sabotaging that. I know I did that when I had my home care agency. I was like, I'm going to be $1 million agency. I'm going to be $1 million agency. And I was rocking it. I didn't even know what that actually really meant by like $1 million. To be honest, I'm going to keep it 100. I just wanted to say that for whatever reason. I wanted to be like, yeah, I have $1 million company. Like, what's up? I didn't know if I meant $1 million in the bank. I didn't know if I meant like just to hit, $1 million in revenue, was like profit. I just wanted to say I was $1 million company. And in 2018 in June, when I sold it, I was already in revenue. I was at like 700. I want to say it's like 750, I think. 750,000 in fucking June, guys. June. I was about to crush that, hit that $1 million mark, but I sold it. I know on a subconscious level, I did that shit. Like, I could have at least waited till I hit that quick mill in revenue and then sold it. I was already there halfway through the year. So I was about to actually do more than that. But there was a part of me that self-sabotaged that. So there was this core, even though I was talking the talk, like, yeah, I'm going to be $1 million agency, but I also didn't try to like validate that even happening. I didn't research. I didn't say, what does that look like? What is $1 million? Like, Tisha, do you want it to be $1 million in revenue or $1 million in profit? What actually is that? Or evaluate your company, into the sense or whatever. I didn't do any of that per se. So how was I really searching or seeking for that? Well, there was a deeper part of me that didn't think that that would ever happen. Like, who did I think that I am? Someone who just was like, I'm going to start this business and just learning as I go. Da, 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 da. Like, who did I think that I was for that to happen? Right. So there was a core belief, in there that I didn't, it was more than one belief. I didn't deserve it. And it's like, who did I think that I am? Because stuff like that doesn't happen to people like me. Well, where did that come from? Where did that come from? So remember when like you have these beliefs that's being formed in your subconscious mind that's coming from other people. It's also your environment. Like, who was I around that had $1 million business? I didn't see it. So what was true was that I'm going to be successful. I can have those things because that's what was around. And that was what I adopted as my truth. So what do you do with this, right? What do we do with this? How do we do this? How do we reprogram the mind? How do we win the battle of me versus me? Because that's what it is. Because our mind, when it's something bad, air quotes again, bad that's happening or happened, we will replay that shit over and over and over and over again. We'll talk about it to anybody that want to listen. Even if they don't want to listen, we still gonna talk about it. What's up? And then when something good happens, we're like, oh my God, you remember when, or I did this and it was so great. Then it's over with. That's it. There's no fun in that. There's no joy in that. I'm going to keep that on repeat. But when it comes to the things that are negative in our minds, we keep that on repeat. Repeat, 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 repeat. You know, and we get caught back up into that loop, right? So a lot of you know, like, I am a certified hypnotist. So I work with people all the time on reprogramming their mind. Let's get rid of those stories. Let's change it. Let's identify that. You know, and yes, hypnosis of repetition, 2 ways to reprogram, you know, the mind. There's a lot of things that we can do with that. Like, our environment is huge. So I have people who it's like, yeah, I'm doing the work. And I'm like, but have you changed your environment? What does that look like? What are you listening to? What type of music are you listening to? Who are you following on social media? Who are you following on social media? What are you looking at the news? Are you like, do you have those apps on your phone that goes off every time the notifications? I couldn't think of it. Where the notification goes off every time there's a new article, and then it gets you worked up and stuff, right? Who are the people that you are hanging around? What is your environment like in your house? You know, what is that like, right? So your environment plays a huge part. So if you want to change some of these things and reprogram your mind, let's start also with the environment, right? It's like that person who is doing this work, doing this inner work, but yet you're still in those core beliefs. You're not going to be successful. No one loves you. You don't deserve this and that. And you're around people, or there's things even in your house that remind you of that, remind you of those core beliefs. It's just kind of like, how is this working? You're working on this, but yet you're still in that. Like, I don't know about that. It's kind of like when people are going on this diet, or they're changing like their lifestyle up when it comes to food and stuff. And then you have the ones who are like, yeah, I just went into the cabinet and I just got rid of everything. I just threw everything away so I can start fresh, right? Because so you say, oh, I'm going to start eating better and I'm going to start working on me. But then you still have those things in your house that you have easy access to, and you don't have enough discipline because you're just looking into this stuff now and you're making these changes, and you might be lacking the discipline to say, all right, I'm not going to eat that ice cream sandwich. I think I use ice cream sandwich as an example because I really would like one. You know, so you'll be like, oh, it's okay. I'll just eat these until, I mean, there's only 3 left, and then I just won't buy any more. It's like, remove it. Get rid of all of those things, because you may have a hard time being disciplined and fighting against that. And you're just starting this new journey of rediscovering yourself and making some changes. So clean the stuff up. Get rid. Don't be around it. You know, don't be around it. What is it like the person who's like trying to stop drinking and then they go get a job as a bartender? It's like, why are you putting yourself in that position? No judgment, just saying why. Also, I like to work with people on just the visualization. You know, our subconscious mind responds best to pictures. Best to pictures, right? So what is it that you can visualize? So if I'm working with someone and I'm saying like, okay, so what does that look like to you? Okay, describe to me, you know, close your eyes and describe to me the time when you felt just really joy. You just felt just good. Like, you know, you just wanted to just smile. Right? And I was to say, so I want you to take a couple of nice deep breaths. And I don't need you to describe it to me. I just want you to imagine it in your mind. What were you doing? What did it look like? What did you have on? Where were you? Were you by yourself? Who was with you? Oh my God, what was the weather like? And now in your mind, you're imagining this time where you felt pure joy. Maybe it was on a cruise. And you just remember like walking out on like the deck and the music was playing. You could smell some of the food. You seen the people running by. So maybe there's some kids and they were laughing. Then there's some people dancing. There's a group of people. They're taking all these pictures. And you just walked up to the thing and you just looked over at the water. The water was super clear and it was just beautiful. And you just felt this sense of joy and you could see everything. Your eyes is closed. And as you're imagining that time, you're seeing everything. It's like the water is right there. You can feel it. Maybe you can hear the waves. You can see the kids over there laughing. You can see that group that just traveled together and they're taking all these crazy pictures. And it just makes you feel good. Well, our subconscious mind loves those pictures, loves that. So if you're someone who are thinking, I'm just depressed or I'm just never happy, you can change that. You can invalidate that belief because you might have a belief like, I'll never be happy. But I just took you through, or you took yourself through this moment where you had that sense of joy and you seen that shit. And you could do it the other way too. What do you want your life to look like? Where do you live? Like, close your eyes now. Like, where do you live? Who do you live with? What does your house look like? Are you in a condo? Are you in a house? Like, where's that? Where? Are you on a beach somewhere? Are you in the mountains? Are you in the suburbs? Like, where do you live? What does that look like? What do you do for a living? You work for yourself? What does that look like? Oh, it's amazing. Oh, you're super successful? Oh, what does success mean to you? Think about that. What does it look like to you? What does happiness look like to you? What does happiness feel like to you? And as you're just going through your mind and you're just imagining these things and you're creating this sense of this feeling, boom, that's what we needed to do. Let's penetrate the subconscious mind and let's change those stories. So if there was that core belief that you weren't going to be much or you weren't going to be successful, and again, success. And, at that point, we're determining our success off of other people until we get to this consciousness of awareness to say, wait a minute, let me come up with my own definition of what success means to me. And until then, we're basing it off of, oh, you have the nice car, you have the nice house, and you make a lot of money, and you're able to travel. So whatever, that may be, if that belief was that you're never going to be more than where you're at now, and you haven't seen anybody else get out of poverty in any of that sense, but if you took that time to imagine what your life would be like and you having success and you can visualize that shit, you can change it. You can have it. You done penetrated your subconscious mind and you done replaced it with some new thoughts, some new beliefs. What's up? So now let's validate that shit. So now that you're feeling good and you created that vision and that, your imagination and you've created it, now you have this sense of feeling where you just feel good. Now go out and do something with that. Now go out and do something so we can continue to invalidate the belief. If the belief was you're not going to amount to anything else, you're not going to be successful, you're not going to have more than what you have, you're just going to be in poverty, you're going to be in middle class or whatever it may be. And now you can go out there and change that. Affirmations is a huge one. If you've been listening to me for a while, I always tell you, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imaginative. What's up? Let's hit these affirmations. I am very powerful. I am this. Because remember, subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imaginative. If you say, I am wealthy, you're wealthy. That's that. I'm happy. I am happy. Right? Because you're stating it in the present moment because the only moment that we actually have is the present moment. So some people will say like, I will be successful. I will be. I say, whoa, 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 whoa. The future doesn't exist. The only thing we have is the present moment. So you saying I will, and you're putting that out there, you're putting that out there for the future. And the future doesn't exist. It's only the present moment. So you got to state it with the I am. I am wealthy. I am happy. And yeah, if you want to keep saying it over and over and over, so be it. That's cool. Again, doesn't know the difference between real and imaginative. So if you're saying I am X, Y, and Z, whatever that is, boom, wait, yeah. In the opposite way too. I'm a failure. If you're someone saying like, I'm a failure, I am so stupid. right? Even when we're joking around, our subconscious mind don't have no type of sense of humor. So it's being mindful in the sense, right, of what it is that you say. Going back to episode 15, where I talked about that and the power behind the words that we use and how powerful they are. So if you haven't listened, again, go check that episode out. A lot of times I hear people who say that like nothing's working or nothing is helping, and I'm trying everything, but nothing seems to just like work. There's nothing is just helping, and I don't think that's true. I think we get something from everything. I just believe that we're so used to using metrics for like success for something working that we feel like it's going to happen overnight and it's going to be this sudden thing, and it's like voila, or I'm going to get this, or now I'm going to be able to do this and do that, and we're measuring it on this metrics that's just not even real for us individually. And we don't give ourselves enough credit to say, wait a minute, I actually did just do something different than what I've done before. Right? So like in the beginning, when I talked about what it is that I'm grateful for, like the opportunities that show me that I've grown or haven't grown and I need to get my shit together. Right? So we'll have something to be able to measure it. So instead of measuring it on this false sense of like success or voila, just measuring it off of like, oh, how do you feel? Do things feel differently? Like, did you, whatever just happened just now, how would it have been if that same thing would have happened 6 months ago? And you'd be like, oh, hell no. Definitely been on some other thing, right? So I know for me personally, I've lived most of my life in survival mode, right? Where it's like, back against the wall, what's up? I got to figure this shit out. Like, it just failing, air quotes again, was just not an option for me. It's never been an option for me. It's like, I got to make this happen. So, people say fail your way to success and things are going to happen. You're going to fail. And I'm like, no, the fuck I'm not. But you see, the back part of that was I was very, very hard on myself where I got to make this happen. You got to make this happen. You got kids, you're, pregnant young, and you just got to make this happen. And, I just have to do this and I have to do that. So I've always been in crisis mode, survival mode, back against the wall. Let me make this shit happen. And when something would come up, I would worry about it and I would just play out the situation in my head. But I played out like, oh man, if I don't do this and this is going to happen, what am I going to do? And creating all these goddamn stories in my mind. But that was my life. And recently, something that I've experienced, I'm having, I just feel good. I just feel like everything is okay. And it's been an eerie feeling because I know that I've lived so much into the survival mode, but this eerie feeling of just like, I don't know how to explain it other than everything is good. I don't have anything logical to tell you. I just had 3 things, air quotes, that I perceive as obstacles or barriers, and I'm good. How is it going to work out? I have no fucking clue, but I know that I'm good. So because of these experiences, and now I'm leaning in within myself, I'm like, yo, that's the evolution. That's the growth. So while I can't explain it to myself or to anybody logical of how this is going to work out, I just feel good. Where before I would have been obsessing over it, not being able to sleep, praying that this doesn't happen. Please, 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 please don't let this happen. Please don't have it. But when I'm praying and saying that, I'm actually drawing that to happen, right? Because I'm focusing my energy on the thing that I don't want to happen. And then guess what happens? Boom, that happens. And what's the first thing that I would say to myself? I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew it. Yeah, you knew it. You fucking created it. So, of course, my mom used to say that all the time, I'm just not lucky. No, I don't ever win anything. And I'm like, of course you're not going to win it because that's your core belief. So as long as you believe that and you hold that, your subconscious mind is going to scan all the times you didn't win. They didn't call your number. You didn't win on the scratch off, or you didn't, win in that drawing. It's going to, all those things it's going to remind you of. And you're like, oh yeah, let me snap back into my reality. That's right. I'm not even going to fill out to try to win this prize because I know I'm not going to get it. So I shouldn't even waste my time. And that's what it is that our subconscious will do. So now we want to become aware of this, right? Because now that you're aware, guess what comes after awareness? You're right, change. And with change comes growth. And you guys who've been listening to me for a while, you know, I say that with awareness comes change and with change comes growth. So now that you are aware that there's these core beliefs and stuff in your subconscious mind that's shaping who you are and the things that you're doing now, let's make a change. Again, changing your environment, doing some visualization. So because again, our subconscious mind responds best to our pictures. So what is it that you're seeing that's in there? Doing your affirmations. There's other things you can do. Like I said, we could do, you can do hypnosis. Some people, it's the music that they listen to, the beats that's really just getting on that frequency into like their brain. There's the things you can do in a sense to start changing some of this behavior that you have. But it definitely starts with a level of awareness. And, and something I actually just had a session with someone, and I was, talking to this person about our subconscious mind and why it's actually important to get to know your subconscious mind. What is a subconscious mind? What does it do? If this is the deepest and most powerful part of ourselves, we got to stop running and hiding because we can't. You're running and hiding from a part of yourself. And this is the most powerful part of yourself where everything is stored. So let's get to know your subconscious mind. Go do some research. Take it further than this podcast. If you want to work with me and you want to, understand some more, of course, the invitation is there. But go to Google. What is your subconscious mind? What does the subconscious mind do? See what comes up for you. Where are you led to? See what does it start sparking, within yourself. So an example that I gave a client was if I felt like she was problematic or other people said she's problematic. So because someone else said that this person is problematic, I believe into that because I don't have anything else. I don't got nothing else to say that it's not true. All these people saying she's problematic. So I don't even want to work with you. Right? Then I say, you know what? I don't know. Let me get to know you. Let me see if I can just get to know this person. And now as I'm getting to know her, I'm like, oh, she's not problematic. She might be a little misunderstood. But now that I've gotten to know her, I know how to interact with her. I know what to do. It's the same thing with our subconscious mind. When we're running from those things and just like, I just don't know what is going on. I just feel so stuck and I keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And it's, oh my God, it's making me go crazy. Right? So now you're like, you know what? Let me face this on. Let me get to know you. So what is the subconscious mind? What is that? Who created this? Like, who coined it? What does it do? What is that function? And then as you start to get to know the deepest part of yourself, you're like, oh, well, I don't need to avoid you. I just need to know how to interact with you. I need to know how to deal with you. And this is where we start to change. We stop running and we stop hiding. We acknowledge that, hey, okay, okay, all right. We get out of victim mode. My daughter was telling, something happened and she was telling somebody at work, this is my youngest daughter, she was telling the person at work, she was like, oh my God, this person did this and I can't believe she did this because I was doing da-da-da-da, whatever, right? And then she said to her friend at work, she's like, but it's okay. Every main character has a villain. My daughter's all on that main character energy. But then her friend at work said, sounds to me like you're the villain. And when she told me that, I laughed so hard. I was like, yo, he right. So we running around here in our life, blaming everybody, blaming our parents, blaming our significant other, blaming our boss, our partner. We're blaming all these people, because we big main character energy. Everybody's the villain. But in actuality, in some of these cases, you're the villain because the battle is you versus you. You're the one who self-sabotaged. You're the one who had the opportunity in front of you, might even be in something that you prayed for, and then you walked away from it and you turned it down. because you didn't think you could handle it. And you think you were ready. But that's nobody else's fault. That's you. You versus you. Or being in a relationship and being this certain way in a relationship, and then y'all separate, you get another relationship and it's the same shit. How is it everybody else when the common denominator is you? So when we start to take responsibility for the role that we played in our life, we can really start to see some major shifts and some major changes. And that's to say, okay, what's this thing called the subconscious mind? Let me learn a little bit more. Let me get to know myself. And a lot of times we're spent running and fleeing from everything, that all these things we're afraid of is a part of ourselves. Like how you afraid of a part of yourself? And I'm definitely speaking from experience because that was me too. There's also been times where I see this a lot too, and I'm guilty of it too, where we're pouring so much into other people and trying to help other people. It's really because we're running from ourselves. So let me put all my energy over into all these people and let me do this and let me do that. But in actuality, it's just because you're running from yourself. So as much as you give back and as much as you serve and as much as you help other people, it may help you in a sense, but it's never going to be the cure-all within you until you step back and say, wait a minute, am I a guilty party in this? What role did I play? Let me make some changes. Let me get some guidance. Let me learn and explore more about myself. And guys, that's where the power is. That the power is in that stillness. The power is in going within. The power is in understanding like yourself more. Like me, and I think I'm pretty sure I probably talked about this before, I am fascinated with human behavior. When I'm talking about fascinated, I am fascinated. I'm the person that's like hearing somebody tell a story or seeing something play out or go, and I'm like, I wonder what made them do that. And then I'm analyzing. And I'm like, So what they really are saying is ooh, I bet that was because of this. I'm fascinated with it. I'm fascinated with human behavior. And because I'm so obsessed and fascinated with human behavior, it allows me to analyze myself. Like, yo, why the hell did I just do that? I'd be saying that. I dead ass be talking to myself. I'd be like, why the hell did I just do that? That's crazy. And then I'll start breaking it down. And then I start to learn more about myself. And I be tripping, guys. Like, I be like finding out some new things about myself. I'd be like, who would have known? Who would have known? And then it's like when you think about like, you know, people will be like, yeah, I just got a type. Yeah, it's a certain type I like to date. And people will just be like, yeah, I have a type. And I'm like, I don't really think you've actually grown. I don't say this to people, but this one I'd be thinking about it. I'd be like, yeah, because, you know, if you're really evolving and growing, like, how do you just go to the same thing? You know, even with food. You know, I'm really big now on trying different foods. I remember the first time I tried calamari was with my friend Wendy, and just a couple years back, and she was like, "Oh my God, look at you trying something different." I was like, "Right, like new person, who this?" But that's how we evolve, and that's how we grow, by trying new things. And that new thing could be saying, I want to learn about myself more. I want to learn about the subconscious mind. I want to learn about some of these things that, you know, might be having me stuck or stagnant. What is that? What does that look like? Versus being so hard and just saying, oh my God, I keep doing the same dumb shit over and over and over again. Like, what the fuck? Nah, that's not getting you nowhere. Step back and say, wait a minute, I'm noticing that I keep doing the same thing. What of these different things, where's the common denominator? Okay, I'm a common denominator. But what would be the outcome if I hadn't done the same thing over and over again? Oh, I actually might have like been successful. I might have like, you know, gained some recognition, and I might have got my product out there or my service or my words out there. Okay. well, why did I not do that? Why would I not want people to know this? Why would I not want, to share this message? Oh, because if I share that message, what if there's someone that doesn't believe in what I say, or they contradict me, or they call me out on something, or they think the opposite? God, that might feel weird. That might make me feel uncomfortable. It might make me feel even rejected. So fuck it, I'm not gonna do it. Fuck it. Yes, I had the opportunity to, go on this thing, and I just decided not to do it because, and you had all the amazing reasons why you shouldn't do it. That's not your real audience. I don't know. Man, I just thought about, I remember when I was working with and I probably talked about this before too, with Jehovah's Witnesses, this family that I started studying with. This was like years back. I was on a quest. I don't know what that quest was, but I was on a quest, man. I was learning different religions and everything. And I wanted to be a lawyer, and I wanted to be a criminal defense lawyer for whatever reason. I just wanted to just defend people. And I remember talking to them, and they said, yeah, if you're a lawyer and you'd have to, represent people that did some like bad things. Like, what if they got in my head? What if they did something to like a kid? I was like, damn, yeah, you're right. So I started thinking about this. So remember, I was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. Then I didn't want to go to law school because I said it was going to take too much time. Then a family lawyer friend said the time has to pass anyway. I was like, damn, you're right. Time got to go by anyway. Might as well be doing what I want to do. And then I remember saying, follow me, y'all. Listen to this shit, how I convinced myself that this made sense. I said, but what if when I'm a lawyer, I get a case that I have to do pro bono because, they make you have to do at least 1 or 2 or whatever it is a month. And that case that I get, I know that criminal actually like raped or killed a kid, and now I got to defend them. Oh, hell no. I don't want to go to law school. I don't want to be a lawyer. Here we go. That's it. They got into my head, into that one part. My subconscious mind scanned all those things. And it wasn't about the lawyer, but it was about me being successful, me being happy, me doing something that I want to do, me doing something that excites me and that feels good, and something that's the opposite of the mundane bullshit, that I was doing. So then I changed my mind off of doing something that I wanted to do, and I justified the shit out of it. I hadn't even gone to law school yet, and I already put myself in my head, I am a lawyer, and now I got a pro bono case, and I got to defend some asshole. That's how our subconscious mind works. It scanned through things and was like, nah, what you're not about to do is do something that you want to do, something that you think you'd be great at, something that you could help people, something that could make you be your version of successful, because you don't deserve that. And you haven't seen anybody else do anything worthwhile with their life. And that was that. Interesting stuff, right, guys? Interesting. Our subconscious mind, the deepest and most powerful part of ourselves. And it is so, so fascinating. The more you make, be very intentional and make the conscious choice to evolve and to grow and to learn more about yourself, I promise you, you're going to be thoroughly, thoroughly surprised. And you'll start to see some of the things that you've been running from that you thought was just so awful, or you just had so much fear. You're like, holy shit, I just faced this. And it's not as scary as my mind made it out to be. Till next time, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Seeing with Your Soul. If something you heard resonated with you, feel free to rate, review, and share with others. If you are looking to go deeper, you can connect with Tisha Michelle on Instagram at Mindset Slayer, or visit www.healingalignedglow.com.